I forgot to install the microphone. Shoot. Where's the blue bag one?
Isn't it in that box?
No. The blue computer bag was in the green.
I can join this and unmute this. Hi. Can
Luna.
you hear me? All right.
Where is that blue bag?
I don't know.
Oh my god.
Hi, everybody. You're watching on this screen, but the sound is coming from the others, from computer, so it's gonna be a little bit weird. But can you hear us? Well, all right, that's good. I think that's good enough, right? We are cleaning this attic and rearranging the furniture. So that is why we don't know where is the blue bag with the microphone in it.
I played an April Fool's joke on myself.
Exactly, right? So, hi guys, I am gonna mostly be in the background tonight because I am getting ready for my summit for social democracy tomorrow.
Where will they be able to?
Twitter.
Luna, come on. Promote it.
Give me a second.
All right, you can leave the stream now. I'm kicking Luna off the stream.
All right.
Hypothetically, not hypothetically, but I don't know words. Okay. Hi everybody. I'm EJ.
I'm Luna. Being busy in the background.
All right, let's do take two. Take two. Here we go. 3. Millennial pause. Hi, I'm EJ.
I'm Luna.
Do you know about the millennial pause?
No.
So apparently there's a new difference between Zoomers and millennials just dropped.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently millennials, when they started recording our live stream, they pause. Mm-hmm. So it'll be like, hi, how are you doing? Mm-hmm. But Zoomers will just be in the middle of talking when the video starts. That's what the internet says. So a millennial will be like this. It'll be like, I'll do a millennial pause first to show you what a millennial pause is like. It'll be like, hi, how you doing? I'm EJ. All right, now we'll do a zoomer in, okay? It's like, I think it's something like this. Okay, hold on. Hi, I'm EJ, and nice to see everybody here. We're already talking as the show begins. That's supposed to be a difference between millennials and zoomers. There's different theories as to why. Some say that it's because millennials are more tech savvy, because I'm a millennial, and I'm exactly this kind of person where we were raised... Like I grew up as in my early childhood, there was no internet, and then in my teenage years there was an internet, and technology and stuff. You had to really learn how to use it like it was complicated.
Yeah.
So you had to be kind of a nerd to understand the technology. But then like Zoomers like Luna, I don't know, Luna's like on the cusp between a Zoomer and a millennial. Yeah. But Luna grew up with more smartphone technology.
Yeah.
So she's really not that great with computers. So some people say it's because Zoomers are like so used to like smartphone technology that they're actually not that tech savvy. That's one take. Another take is that Zoomers are just more laid back and they don't actually care. Kai says, it is true. We wait for feedback. Zoomers trust the technology. Yeah. I wait for the tally light, or like the confirmation that we're live. This might be true too. Alex says millennials grew up watching news anchors waiting to speak because of a delay in their audio. Yeah. But then news anchors have the whole like crew going like 3, 2, 1, Luna. I know, because I used to do that shit. I used to be the guy going 3, 2, 1 point. Yeah. That was a crappy job. A lot of pressure. So we got a lot of exciting news today. We've got an ebook. Just a little ebook that just finally dropped after 3 freaking years of work. We finally got it out. That would be the basic principles of curriculum of the basic principles of Marxism, Leninism, the philosophical methodology and worldview of Marxism, Leninism. Did I just say it properly?
A little bit.
We really don't know the name of our own book, but let me go get it.
Curriculum of the basic principles of Marxism, Leninism, the worldview
and philosophical methodology. of Marxism-Leninism. The title sucks.
Sucks.
The title sucks.
Sucks
We
a
can
lot.
we can agree on that.
Yes.
It's translation. It probably sounds better in Vietnamese, maybe, or does it suck in Vietnamese too?
It's long Vietnamese too.
Does it suck in Vietnamese?
No.
Okay, well, there we go. But anyway, the cover looks good. Luna drew the cover. This is the print version, which you can get now at banyanhouse.org. You could also get the ebook, and the ebook is free, or you can choose to donate if you want to support Luna Translating Part 2, or, as you are able. So we'll talk a lot more about this as we get into the stream. I also am excited to announce that we have caught up with the streaming technology of LED backlights, and we can change the color. Theoretically.
Okay. At all?
It's supposed to. Oh, I was pointing the wrong way. But this is like the worst backdrop to demonstrate.
Yeah, right.
We got this at Five Below for $5.
I mean, you can barely see now. See?
That's good.
That's good. Yeah.
What do you think? What do we think?
Right.
I mean, it's kind of like. Here, what if I put it here? Is that too cool? Is that too cool for school? Luna, I was playing with it. What are you doing?
It's kind of, if we look like that, it would be like.
Oh, now we look like we're on an antique starship from the 19th century that has wood paneling. This thing doesn't. Oh, there we go.
Yeah,
Yellow is the worst color.
Yeah, like the yellow is just like normal light.
I guess that's probably the best.
You have a red?
Yeah. Ooh. Evil communists.
Oh, because I need to focus on this.
No, you don't.
Right.
Luna's once again giving us the cold shoulder, folks. Gio likes the red. Red. We'll play with this throughout the stream. I get fascinated with things like this. You can just push a button. All right. Kai said, fuck yellow. Kai's not a fan of yellow? This is the last Guinness left from St. Patrick's Day. Blue Swallow says, I've purchased a physical book and have downloaded the ebook, but I'm going to wait for the physical book to come to read it. I can't wait. Here's a funny thing. Okay. So the ebook has, if you look at the EPUB version of the ebook, it's very cool because it has like anchor links and stuff. So if it says like see page 46, you click it and you can go to page 46 and stuff. But I think that the paper book is still my favorite way to read it, only because you know, if you're really like studying, you will kind of be flipping back and forth a lot. And for me, and maybe again, this is a millennial Zoomer difference, but for me, it's just faster and easier to just flip through the pages physically. And by the way, the PDF is included in the ebook, so you could print out your own copy if, for whatever reason, like for instance, maybe you have access to a printer. I'm not saying that you should abuse your privileges at work or school, but if you have access to a printer where you could print out a 300-page document front and back and nobody would care or know, you could print out your own copy. That's totally doable. But, you know, yeah.
And it in my company, nobody cares.
Right. But don't steal work supplies because that would be illegal.
Yeah, cool.
And doing things that are illegal is against the law. I'm just saying. All right. But anyway, yeah, so there's the ebook. Maybe we'll look at the ebook later if we feel like it. I got a lot of other stuff to talk about too. I've only got one screen right now, and I don't like that. I might ask Luna to talk to y'all for about 5 minutes while I go get.
Screen? Oh.
I want the other monitor, I think. Can you talk to them for a couple minutes?
Right. Okay.
Everyone, rapid fire questions for Luna. Luna will now do a lightning round answering your questions. We have a Starship-like console here with an amazing technology that allows us to read all the chats.
All 4 chats at the same time.
Twitch chat for non-compete, Twitch chat for Luna, YouTube chat for non-compete live, YouTube chat for Luna Oil Live. It's all coming at us through one feed with this amazing technology that we have access to. I'm going to go get my second monitor. Talk to them. Lightning round of questions for Luna's. What do you think of Trump's indictment, Luna?
I seriously do not care about it. See them fighting the Democrats and the Republicans. Like, root for the fight.
You might want to explain that euphemism.
So like, this is my what do you call it? Rule of thumb. Like usually in your mindset, you usually you have force other people to pick up the side. To pick a side. Like when A fight B, you have to either be on A side or on the B side. And no, I am not like that. We Vietnamese who are not like that. We hate both A and B. I'm sorry, excuse me. And just because A is fighting B, B fighting A doesn't mean that I have to pick a side. That what I support is root for the fight. So seeing the Democrats and the Republicans fighting, and then seeing Biden arresting Trump, like yeah, great, root for the fight. It doesn't mean that I support Biden nor Trump. That's it. And me and EJ just talked about earlier, like recently in the last few years, to see like people, the other party going after the president, the previous former president is pretty interesting. They try to, arrest Obama, and now they try to arrest Donald Trump or something. This kind of something is changing,
All right, lightning round. Next question. Find it quickly, immediately.
Luna looks like she has a tiny arm.
Perspective.
I'm coming to you right now with this arm.
I'm coming to you right now with this arm. Luna win, folks.
Sci-fi question for the sci-fi set. How did you like the end of The Expanse? To be honest, I was
disappointed.
Disappointed.
It was so weird because like the second to last season was so good, and it set it up like it was going to be awesome, and then
did we lose it? No, we did not. Okay, fine, we're good.
Nothing happened.
All right, okay. I mean, so disappointed. I can't even recall.
I know it's completely forgettable.
Yeah.
It's completely forgettable.
Like the ring, and then they never discover what kind of aliens behind the ring. And what did they do with the ring? They just like leave it there?
It doesn't matter. Who cares? It was awful. It was a terrible ending. I mean, it was just like nothing. It was like a nothing burger. Like, I don't know. I was disappointed. I don't even remember it. Like Luna said, it's very unmemorable. I do have some thoughts on the Trump indictment, actually, but we'll talk about that later. Let's do one more lightning question for Luna. All right, here we go, Luna. This is going to be, let's go through quick, rapid fire. Do you think Americans will ever pass common sense gun reform? What is common sense gun reform? I have to lightning round question back to you. What is it? What do you consider common sense gun reform?
Common sense gun reform should be everybody should be well educated on how to use guns.
No, not everybody. Not fascists. Not capitalists. The working class, trans people, black people, people who are poor, sex workers. These are the kinds of people that need to learn how to use guns for self-defense, for community self-defense, and more importantly. All right, Luna, lightning round. Have you seen any cool bugs lately? Cool bugs.
Cool bugs. I saw cool lizard.
Lizard's not a bug. Have you seen any cool bugs? Yes or no?
Bug.
Was it cool?
Cool.
Okay, then yes. The answer is yes. My hair is getting wily.
I saw a bee this afternoon.
You saw a bee. Was the bee cool?
Cool. It's big and black and orange.
Is this how I should look from now on?
No.
My hair is non-compliant today. All right, what else? Have you had Mexican food yet? The answer is not truly. We haven't gone to a really authentic Mexican place yet.
Of all the Mexican places we went to?
No, we haven't gone to the best ones yet.
Really?
Yeah, we haven't. I blame Grant for that because Grant had every opportunity to take us to a good one in Colombia and he didn't. So We can get mad at the Slopstash, Grant the Slopstash Robertson about that. All right, what do we got next? No more guns for cops. That's common sense gun reform. Yes.
Yeah.
Trump indictment is BS. Nobody in the working class cares about him paying hush money, but we would all love to see Bush tried for war crimes. My whole thing is like, I mean, I agree with Luna on the let them fight thing. Luna EJ, do you have a professor based in New York called Danny Shaw? Do you know of it when the name Danny Shaw? He makes political analysis for Telesur and Russia Today. Never heard of Danny Shaw, actually. I guess we'll put that in our show notes to check out Danny Shaw. Don't know anything about it. What makes you think we'd be interested in Danny Shaw? What's Danny Shaw's story? What's the Danny Shaw story? Luna, what's the worst food you've had in America so far? Careful. You might offend somebody. Might offend me.
I can't recall. Not the worst food, but I ate some food that was so salty.
Like what?
Oh, remember the bar food, the chicken wings or something. That is
Buffalo wings?
Oh,
you had some tonight.
No, not that. That wing's good. That wing that Grant bought actually.
The wings that Grant bought?
Mm-hmm.
You didn't like them?
It was good, but it was so salty that almost killed me the first time. It doesn't mean it's bad though. It's just so salty. I don't know, like why? Why do I get that salty?
Americans love salt.
Ugh.
It's good with beer. Beer
No,
makes you.
it's
The
bad
salt
for
makes
your
you.
kidney.
The salt makes you drink
It's
more
bad
beer.
for your everything.
The salt makes you drink more beer, and then they sell more beer. That's
It's like it's just like salted hot wings or something. That's how salty I felt.
I've set the light to strobe now to indicate that the lightning round questions series is over and concluded, and Luna can now return back to working on her script. That's what the strobe indicates. Marvel, gaze in wonderment at the strobe.
Your computers cover a lot of light.
I don't care.
Okay, the same.
No one cares. Can we do this to tell ghost stories? It's not that spooky. Bluebeard. Nothing. I don't know. I got nothing. Is this a bit, Luna? Is there a gag in here? That's it? That's your gag? It's like the most boring party. You broke it. Luna broke the light, everybody. What did you do?
I didn't do nothing.
Now I'm sad. I missed it. There it is.
All right, I want to focus on
All right,
it.
focus on it. No one asked you any questions. Your lightning round is over.
Yeah.
You're fired anyway from talking. Luna's fired from talking. Okay. So Trump. You know, here's the deal. Here's all I got to say about it. Parenti talked about this in Black Shirts and Reds a bit. Kind of, I don't remember if he talked about it directly or not, but this is what I gleaned from Black Shirts and Reds. Over the last few decades, going back to World War II, liberalism and fascism have been dialectically influencing one another. Okay, there's a dialectical relationship between liberalism and the current form of liberalism, which is neoliberalism, and fascism. And to the extent that a lot of liberal presidential candidates throughout the last few decades have even had literal Nazi Germany Nazis on their campaign staffs. Okay, we've brought in like a lot of experts and intellectuals from Nazi Germany and from fascist Italy. We've got things like NATO and Operation Gladio, which took fascists from Italy and Germany and Scandinavian countries and gave them positions of power, and they had all kinds of psyops and everything. And these were all like neoliberal projects that brought fascists in to collaborate. Okay, and then fascists have also been watching liberalism and seeing what's working and what's effective. A great example of that would be the way that they like to recuperate and co-opt leftist talking points, which they've done from the beginning. You know, that's what the thesis of Black Shirts and Reds by Parentes is that okay, everyone, I'm gonna have to cut Luna out of the picture because Willie Loki Ula says Luna looks not too happy with you. She's concentrating on writing a script.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to crop you out, Luna, because people are gonna keep thinking you're pissed and you're just concentrating. Here, how about that angle? Look at that. Wow, that's like a streamer angle. Luna's right here. See, so we can't have nice things. Luna's right here. There's the tanky tattoo, proof of life. She's moving her fingers. It's not a Weekend at Bernie's scenario. All right. So we have, is there anything Parenti hasn't talked about in Black Shirts and Reds? It's always relevant. Black Shirts and Reds is always relevant. It's a sad that Parenti probably won't be writing anymore. I think Parenti's having health issues and that sort of thing. So, but like somebody needs to update that book. Like, you know, we need a new Black Shirts and Reds because a lot of things have developed since it was written, but SCH misses Luna already. Everyone misses you, Luna. Because you had an unhappy looking face. No one can have, because people didn't like your unhappy face.
Look at the screen. I look like I have so many fingers.
You look like you're AI generated.
Right.
AI generated hand. All right. You're distracting me. So why are we talking about the dialectic relation between liberalism and fascism? Because there's currently I believe we're witnessing a quality shift in electoral politics in the USA. And I'm sorry, this is a little USA centric. I know a lot of people here are from other countries, but I think it's important because things that happen in the USA, especially with national politics, will affect everyone around the world because of the warmongering imperialist brutality of the USA. So anyway, what I think we're seeing right now is kind of a power struggle between, I don't know what you'd call them, but the fascistic neoliberal forces of the Democrat Biden camp and the fascistic sort of conservative camp. And then there's infighting on, all around, but it's kind of like come to a head because I think for decades, and correct me if I'm wrong, chat, this is the way that I'm interpreting this. For decades, it was like a very cohesive duo party where, there were disagreements, like during the Reagan era, the Clinton era, Jimmy Carter. During this era, there were disagreements, but there was a basic consistency on both camps that we're going to have a neoliberal imperialist agenda. We're not going to rock the boat too much. And things were kind of more or less stable within that duo party complex until basically, I would say probably around the second term of Obama. Maybe his first term too, but that's when people started to ramp up and escalate the fracturing of that duo party system. And that's also when the culture wars, if you want to call it that, really started to crystallize in a new way. And so now we're having like this power struggle, and it manifests in such things as now presidents are trying to like get each other locked up after their term, which is within my lifetime. I didn't see that happen until like they were trying to lock up Obama. They were calling for Obama to get locked up, and then they're calling for Trump to get locked up, and of course a lot of the Republicans want to get Biden locked up. I don't know how much of that is theater, but there's this escalation of at least bravado of tension within the duo party. I don't know if the duo party has actually fractured behind the scenes. Something tells me that there's still more collusion than we're seeing behind the scenes. Alex says, "Free Luna." EJ, let's talk about this serious topic. The chat. Luna stopped existing. Luna will be back. How long are you going to work on that?
Or you want to help me work on this after the stream?
No, I'll help you work on it maybe like in the morning, but I don't know how much time you're going to need.
I might have to take some Ritalin or something. So.
But here's where this is a good way to solidify what we're saying here. They're lost in the sauce of culture war bullshit. So I saw a freaking fantastic tweet today. Somebody said, Chris, if you know Chris said, the culture war. I'm actually going to, I think Luna retweeted it, so I'm going to see if it's in Luna's. I want to read it verbatim if I can, because it was really well said. It's like you gotta do like 6 tweets to get to Luna's profile here. Okay, here we go. I'll throw it on screen maybe if I can. Here we go. Chris Richards. I just thought this was really well said and concise, and it summarizes what we talk about on this show quite well. This is the line, folks. This is the line. The idea that the culture war is a distraction from class struggle is a right-wing grift. The culture war is an attack on working class solidarity. Boom. There's the tweet. I think that's really, really well put, and I think it is, as John Siebel said, well put. But I think it's strong, and it's completely true, and it's obvious. If you want to resolve the contradictions within the working class and heal the rifts within the working class, you've got to build understanding, mutual respect, mutual understanding, and trust between different categories within the working class, right? So if you're going to alienate trans people, alienate gay people, alienate disabled people, and just try, and you know what all these people are doing, and all the people that are really, most class reductionists, you'll find most of them are crypto fascists. What they're trying to do is actually build tension and build and increase the fracturing of the working class. And they tend to do that by zeroing in and focusing on telling white men what they want to hear, more or less. Which, you know, I'm not saying that white dudes aren't allowed to be part of the movement. I consider myself a white dude. I'm non-binary, but I consider myself a white dude. I'm dude positive, as they say. And I'm not saying that folks who look like me shouldn't be part of the movement or anything like that. But one of the first things we need to learn, if you want to be truly radical, you know, if you want to truly change the world, if you want to truly change the power dynamics of this class society we live in and build a revolution, you got to discard the Western chauvinist, white chauvinist, male chauvinist aspects of culture that we have all had inculcated into us. All right. If you think that you're immune to the extremely powerful hierarchies that exist within capitalist society, which have been massaged into the working class, then think again. Okay. Because like even I'm constantly discovering ways in which I have prejudices and preconceived notions and false consciousness that I'm trying to dismantle. So, you know, today, and I'm seeing it right now, by the way, somebody made a really good observation a few days ago. This was just a friend of mine said this, that all this transphobia that we're seeing and the trans misogyny that we're seeing against trans women, especially, it's going to bleed into misogyny against cis women as well. And I'm seeing it happen. Actually, I've been paying attention since my friend said that, and I'm seeing it happen. I'm noticing that you're seeing a lot more kind of virulent, almost like violent misogyny even against cis women right now. There's just it's exactly what always happens, which is if you give bigots an inch, they will take miles and miles and miles. They will push the bigotry farther and farther. By the way, are you hearing Luna typing right now? Because I am. Luna is a very aggressive typist. Typist. No, you're okay. I'm asking the chat if it's bothering them. If they, Gio, gotta go. Wait, Gio, don't go yet. I just saw that you super chatted. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I started.
I hope you haven't left yet, Gio. I want to read your super chat before you skedaddle. I mean, you can go, but real quick. Fascists in U.S. political campaigns. Black Shirts Red Chapter 1 and the Friendly to Fascism. Say, oh, that's a great super chat. Yes, that's the reference. That's what I was talking about earlier. Great super chat. Thank you so much. We really appreciate the support and the research support. So if anyone wants to know what I was talking about in terms of fascists being in political campaigns for liberal candidates, boom, there's the chapter right there. There's the reference. In fact, I could probably pull that up here because I've got Black Shirts and Reds right here on my little ebook, my e-boy, my e-dude. I'll try to pull that up in the background. Go to my Parenti folder. Whoop. Not seeing any of my printy. Whatever, I'll find it. Okay, later. The way I see it, Ma says, the USA has an advanced case of fascism. Fascism is capitalism in decay. They haven't recovered from 2008. That's why the GOP veered more to fascism and the Democrats a little less. But I don't want to understate the brutality of Joe Biden's regime. Really. I don't want to. I'm not disagreeing with you, Ma, but I just want to. I'm doing a yes and. Yes, and Joe Biden has proven that the Democrats are just as bloodthirsty in terms of foreign policy, especially, but also with a lot of the domestic. Like, Joe Biden is sitting by, standing ready, and wanting to fund the police more, as, for instance, Cop City in Atlanta is, just a complete. I mean, I don't even know how to like an abortion of justice, I guess you could say, and it's awful. It's the things that are happening there, like our comrade Tortuguita, who was assassinated in cold blood with hands raised, according to the autopsy report. And Biden hasn't said jack squat about that. Biden is expanding imperialist bombing campaigns and warfare. I mean, and of course, calling to having this new democracy summit, which is basically just to expand NATO and demanding that countries basically get in line behind the USA, or else they're not democratic if they don't follow the USA, lockstep. The USA says jump, they say how high, is the way Biden wants the world to be run. So keyboards are the enemy. They know what they did. I never got. So can someone explain to me the appeal of the Cherry MX Switch kind of keyboard nerddom? Because I've used those keyboards, and those used to be like pretty common, and I always hated them, especially because they're so clacky and loud. I don't know. What's the deal? Oh, wait, I just found. Oh, there's a really good chat. I don't want to lose it. I accidentally clicked. Okay. dip potato chip says, as Marx himself said before, that the liberation of men passes the liberation of women. Today, we also must say the liberation of cis whites passes through the liberation of color and LGBTQIA+ people. Yeah. I mean, it's like Fred Hampton said, nobody's free until everybody's free. I believe Fred Hampton said that. But nobody's free until everybody's free. And that's a fact. I mean, oh, hey, Overthrow Media's in the house. What's up? What's going on? Thanks for the congrats. Yeah, we haven't even really talked much about the ebook yet. It hasn't been much of a party. I guess that the April Fool's joke is that we're having a party. Because Luna's not even, Luna's right here. I'm touching Luna right now off camera. There's Luna's hand. Hi. Let's do a little Weekend at Bernie's like, hi, everybody. I'm Luna. Hello, everybody. This is Luna. I'm very happy to see all of you. I sure am happy to be on the internet with handsome EJ. This is the best day of my life. I love the American Johnson. I think EJ is swell. EJ is so smart and so talented. Oh, thanks, Luna. Now get out of here. Women hold up half the sky. Mao Zedong. I mean, hold on. I'm just reading through chats here. Goodbye, Blue Swallow. Thanks for watching. And yeah, we're streaming at a weird time tonight, so I'm so glad you're not doing a fake Vietnamese accent. I think Luna would actually murder me. You're not helping her script writing at all. Hey, she offered her hand to do a Weekend at Bernie's bit. It wasn't my idea. Yeah, I'm not going to make fun of Luna's Vietnamese accent because my Vietnamese is atrocious. My American accent in Vietnamese. Hey, Courtney. Courtney said, hey, EJ. I'm saying, hey, Courtney, this is a point-to-point communication. Yeah. I got that. I could pull that up. Let's talk about that. Sorry, and by the way, while I'm pulling this up, let's talk about housekeeping a little bit. This is the last BREADCAST we're probably gonna do in the USA from our illustrious tour of the USA that's been almost 6 months, which is kind of wild. But yeah, we've been here for about 5 months, and we're about to go back. So these janky, thrown together slapdash BREADCasts that don't even have the graphics packages, don't have the backgrounds and everything, I won't say they're coming to an end because we have to set up our studio and everything when we get back. That might take a few weeks, but they're coming close to coming to an end. They might be jankier for a few weeks while we're settling back into Vietnam, but at some point, BREADCAST will be back and better than ever in its former glory. And we'll be doing our other streams like Mooncast and the Dialectic, and everything's coming back. So thanks for bearing with us throughout this weirdness. I know that our schedule's been jumping around. We've been doing it Saturday night some weeks. We've been doing it from 9 p.m. sometimes from 10 p.m. Taylor Twin Rabbit says the sheetwood aesthetic is good, pleasing, very primitivist. You know me, the anarcho-primitivist. You know how I love cottage core. That's an April Fool's joke. Somebody said, wait, where's it at? Someone said that the book, somebody must have gotten it. Where is it at? Hold on, I've got a few questions about the book we can tackle. I'm me says the book is so weirdly soft. It does feel nice. It does. It feels nice. It's like a tactile aesthetic that I dig. Yeah, I like the cover. We went with matte, of course. You have to go matte. Glossy is for like who wants a glossy cover? You know what I mean? What is it?
Hey, what did Parenti said in Inventing Reality? That the USA is trying to build a reality around people.
Perceptual reality.
Perceptual reality, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Yeah, you got it. And if you want to know more, you can just go back and watch last week's BREADCAST because we talked about that a lot. Somebody else had a question. Oh, what's a good EPUB reader? What's a good EPUB reader? Anybody in the chat have any ideas? I'll tell you what I use. Where's my phone, Luna? Here it is. I'll show you what I use. Now, I'm not saying this is the best or anything. I did look at a lot of different apps, and it took me a while to settle on this one. I mean, I'm not endorsing this at all. It could be terrible. Oh my gosh, I don't even know what it's called. Because I looked around for a long time to try to find a reasonable reader. Where's it at? Hold on. What the hell? I'll find it. Wait a minute. I have a lot of apps, apparently. What's odd to me is that Adobe Acrobat doesn't actually open EPUBs, which I find annoying. Where's it at? Hold on. Production. Writing notes? No. Entertainment? No. Did I uninstall it? Is that possible? I guess I don't know. This is embarrassing. I must have uninstalled it, so it must not have been that great after all. Okay, so I'll just let the chat tell us, because this is not entertaining for anybody to watch. Is it in tools? I got nothing. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I don't have an EPUB reader in my phone. I like to use these like e-ink things for reading EPUBs. Like I have it, like I go to sleep with my Kindle every night. In a non-sexual way. But anyway, Oh, Courtney had a question. Hold on, I'm going back. What is the book? What is the book about? That's a good question, Courtney. All right, let's take a little break and talk about this book a little bit, and we'll talk about the EPUB. I'll show you where you can get it. So it's called Curriculum of the Basic Principles of Marxism-Leninism, Part 1, The Worldview and Philosophical Methodology of Marxism-Leninism, translated by Luna Nguyen. And here, I'll read the back of the book. How about that? That'll be fun, won't it? I won't read the whole thing, but Vietnam's textbook on dialectical materialism. In order to build socialism, first and foremost, we need to have socialist people who understand socialist ideology and have socialist values. These are the immortal words of Ho Chi Minh, who helped guide Vietnam through decades of revolution against French colonialism, Japanese fascism, and American imperialism. These words reverberate today in the classrooms of Vietnamese high schools and colleges, where students are required to study a full curriculum of socialist theory rooted in the foundational works of Karl Marx, Friedrich Engels, and Vladimir Ilyich Lenin. Now, for the first time, the materials used to train Vietnamese students in the core ideological system of dialectic materialism and materialist dialectics is available in the English-speaking world through Luna Nguyen's groundbreaking translation of Curriculum of the Basic Principles of Marxism-Leninism, Part 1, The Worldview and Philosophical Methodology of Marxism-Leninism. Yes, the title does suck. We've already discussed that. So this is basically the Vietnamese textbook on dialectical materialism, which is a universal philosophical system which you can use to analyze very complicated subjects like human society, political economy, and political action. And we have annotated it very thoroughly. Literally half the book is annotations. Reason being that the book is very dense because it's a college classroom book for Vietnamese students. It's intended to have a lecturer guiding you through it, first of all. And second of all, a Vietnamese student in college would have had a K through 12 education, which would have laid a lot of these foundational elements out for them. So they wouldn't be going into it cold like most Western readers will be. That's the assumption we have. So there are a lot of annotations. We pull in a lot of other material, mostly primary sources. We're drawing a lot from primary sources from Marx, Engels, and Lenin. There are also a lot of sources from Vietnamese texts, whether that's the more advanced version of this book for people who specialize in Marxist philosophy in college, or whether it's other books in the publications and that sort of thing. But we also just kind of explain more deeply, not deeply, but we let it breathe a little bit, because like the text of the original book is very dense, and like one sentence will have a lot of meaning in it. And so we break that. We'll take like a really dense paragraph or whatever, and we'll break it down and say this is exactly what each of these words means, because they don't define all the terms, because again, these are terms that Vietnamese students would be very, very familiar with from their previous education, and B, they would have a professor guiding them through it. One funny comment we've gotten from several Vietnamese people who have taken those classes in Vietnam is that they wish that they had a book like this when they were in college, because it would have helped them pass the classes.
Exactly. I wish that I had this book when I was like 18, so I could have higher scores in my philosophy class.
Yeah, but we added all the illustrations and annotations. And what I really love about it too, and by the way, this isn't just a sales pitch, because you can buy the book, yes, at banyanhouse.org. We'll show you that in a second. But the ebook is totally free, and you can download it right now at banyanhouse.org or at archive.org. But let's take a look real quick at the appendix. So here's the cognitive process. Yeah, right there. That's the cognitive process. You could just flip right to page 250. See it for yourself. Forms of consciousness and knowledge, the three universal laws of materialist dialectics. If you don't know what that means, read this book and you'll understand. So let's go look at the website. Oh, I want to talk. There's so much stuff to talk about. Exactly. I have a bunch of notes this week, and I don't think we're going to get through most of them.
Do it.
I'm trying, because I wanted to talk about the statistics about how Americans are dying young. All right, so here's our imprint. banyanhouse.org. So if you don't know why we call it Banyan House, I'll go to the About Us page first. You can check that out. For centuries, the banyan tree has been the symbol of communal life in Vietnam. Traditionally, the entrance to a village is graced by a large and ancient banyan tree. It is in the shade of these trees that villagers gather to socialize, draw water from wells, and make collective decisions together. The drooping accessory trunks represent the longevity of villagers and of the village itself, while the arcing canopy represents the safety and protection of the village. The shape of the banyan tree is also seen in the full moon. That's a reference to Luna, get it? Which casts peaceful light across the earth to guide travelers in the dark of night. Vietnam's revolution against Japanese fascism and French colonialism began in 1945 beneath the cover of the Tun Chau banyan tree, which still stands in the city of Trinh Quang. It is in the deep-rooted humanistic spirit of collective action that we founded Banyan House Publishing. We hope to deliver volumes which will inspire action and change throughout the village that is our world. So this is our new imprint. And, I wanted to go to the catalog. So if you want to get the book right now for free, go to catalog, banyanhouse.org/shop is the page. And then right here, you go to the ebook. Now it says $10, but don't let that dissuade you. Click through. And you have two options. You can either, if you want it for free, no obligation to donate to us, but you can if you want. Translating the part 2, which is on historical materialism. But you can also put 0 in, add to cart, and then you get the book for free. Or you can go down here and see where it says archive.org. I need to make these links colorful so that you can tell that they're links. That's an annoying thing that the style sheet did. Okay, I'll fix that. But yeah, click archive.org. It'll take you directly to the archive.org link. Oh, also, I want to just shout this out real quick. We are doing a Give Butter. I'll put a link in the chat if anybody wants to donate. There's no pressure, but this is there's two cool things about if you donate to the Give Butter. Here's my pitch on why you should consider donating to Give Butter. Number one is it will support Luna as she translates the sequel part 2, which is on historical materialism, the application of dialectic materialism to human society, to the analysis of human society and development. But also you'll get the updates. As we are doing the translation, you will be in the loop on what's happening, and you'll be the first to know when it comes out. We're going to have some little fun things that we're going to do. We might have some auctions where we auction off some of Luna's artwork. We might auction off the proof copy of the book that has our editing notes in it and that sort of stuff. So all that will be through the Give Butter. So if you give $1 or $2 or whatever you can afford to the Give Butter, you will not only be supporting the project, but you'll be looped in for future updates. And that's the best way to know about the book series. Okay. You might even be, I don't know. I'm not too familiar with Give Butter. You might even be able to follow it without, if nothing else, you could put the RSS feed into your Feedly app or your RSS reader app. But look at all these nice people who've donated already.
Yeah, right.
Solidarity with the people of Vietnam and respect for their successful struggle against imperialism from Anonymous. Already started part 1 and am learning a lot. Looking forward to part 2. Snake 16 says. So there you go. That's the spiel. That's the spiel on the book and everything. Hold on. Are people talking about our website having problems or something? I thought I read somebody saying something about technical problems or something, but maybe I was misreading. FB Reader is a good multi-platform generic EPUB reader. Thanks, Kev Larson. FB Reader. There you go. Try that out. And I've never used it, but maybe it's good. Check it out. FB Reader. Oh, okay. So the issue with the website has been resolved. Our website is fine, but it's like a WordPress website with WooCommerce. It's very basic, so it does have problems from time to time. We also don't have the best hosting in the world. You know, we have like a pretty cheap server, so there will be outages and stuff from time to time. 9 times out of 10, if you just refresh it a couple times or just wait 15 minutes and come back, the problems are resolved by themselves. So sorry about the not perfect web development. We're just like scraping all this stuff together as we go along. I had to build this whole website in like the last 3 weeks while we were packing and shipping. I guess the last 2 months. When did we build this website, Lynn? I don't even have a concept of time anymore.
Yeah.
About a month ago or something. We built the website like a month ago. And I just figured out how to sell or make ebooks available through WooCommerce this morning at like 3 a.m. So it is what it is. We're doing our best. We're trying to keep improving it over time. Time blindness is really good. Morty says yes, especially when you have severe ADHD like I do. All right. Scraping a website together is how real programming is done. That's how I've always done it. So I guess I guess that if that's the qualification, then that makes me a real programmer because I'm always just flying by the seat of my pants. All right, let's look at some interesting stuff that I've assembled. I've just got like, there's so much stuff happening lately. You know, do you get what I'm saying? It's like overwhelming. There's so much going on in the world. I really need to organize my notes better, but just haven't had time. Let's see. Here we go. I found a tweet thread we can look at. This stuff is wild. Yeah, okay, here we go. So this person is a columnist at Financial Times, okay? And we all know that Financial Times is a horrible publication. It's very reactionary. It lies a lot about Vietnam. We know that from our experiences living here during COVID. So take this with a grain of salt as far as this person being a Financial Times reporter. But okay, I'm not sure how many people. Let's just run through this.
Ida.
Oh, we got to remove this old Luna.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Don't you love the internet in the USA? Speaking of how the USA is in decay. All right. Starting all over again. I don't know where I cut out. Okay. So this Financial Times reporter says, I'm not sure people fully appreciate how dire the US life expectancy mortality situation has gotten. My column, enterprise sharing, blah, 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 and some utterly damning charts. At every point on the income distribution, Americans live shorter lives than the English. So what I find, first of all, off the bat, interesting about this is that this is a pretty conservative, fairly reactionary publication, very reactionary publication. And even they're saying, like, the USA has some dire fucking shit going on. So Americans die earlier than the English across the income distribution, especially the bottom end, of course, where the gap is more than 5 years. Life expectancy at different points along each country's income distribution. I mean, look at this. Life expectancy, of course, falls off steeply in the poorest pockets of America. Look at this. Look at this. If you're in the bottom 1%, you're living under 70. You're not even making it to 70 on average. That's wild. I mean, in England, which, by the way, England's a reactionary hellscape, but at least in England, they're making it to like 75 in the bottom 1% rung. I mean, I would imagine that their socialized healthcare has something to do with that. But this is really, look at it. But even the rich people are dying earlier. But that's, of course, I mean, look how old rich people get to be. That would be around 86 or so. So, I mean, but you're seeing, I mean, there is being poor comes with a death toll. If you're down here around the bottom 25% or so, in England and in the USA, that's costing you years of your life. Being poor is deadly in capitalism. Okay. What I'd like to see is this chart for other countries. It's actually worse than the chart made out because most points in the income distribution, Americans earn much more than Brits. If we plot the same data by actual income instead of percentile, the US deficit is vast. So look at this chart, okay? And remember, this is coming from a conservative news source. This isn't like, a leftist propaganda outlet. This is the Financial freaking Times, okay? Look at this. Life expectancy by net household income. Okay, so this one is talking about like relative income, top percent versus bottom percent, this one's talking about actual income. Look at a handful of U.S. super rich managed to match English life expectancies. Okay. We're talking about people who are making like 350K plus. If you're making 25K, which by the way, what's the federal minimum wage?
$7.25.
I know. I'm trying to think of the annual salary. $7.25 per hour. I'm just going to calculate real quick. 7.25 times 40 times 4 times 12. About $14,000. Okay. Jesus Christ. So if you're making minimum wage, you're like down here, but even if you're making like $10 an hour or whatever, which a lot of people do, you're down here, and and it's killing you. It's costing you like a decade plus on your fucking life, compared to wealthy people who are making more than let's say $70,000 or so. You're living a decade less or more, or a decade or less. A decade less or less. That's hard to say. This is disgusting. This is incredibly disgusting. It's inexcusable. It's alarming, and nobody cares. Especially the people in power don't care. Do you ever hear Joe Biden talking about this? Do you hear Bernie Sanders or AOC really proposing anything to actually change this? No, what they're doing instead is they've got a federal judge right now who's dismantling parts of what little healthcare we do have in the USA. Could you compare that to a civilized nation so we have a point of reference? Good call. Civil war is trending on Twitter right now. Oh my gosh. Cocaine is trending on Twitter, apparently. All right. Things have deteriorated so much that the average American now has the same healthy life expectancy, years lived in good health. Okay. Years lived in good health, as someone in Blackpool, the town with England's lowest life expectancy by far, synonymous with deep-rooted social decline. So look, life expectancy for good health years was gradually increasing until looks like around, let's say 2013 or 14 or so, and now it's declining. Look at West Virginia. Holy smokes. You're looking at people in West Virginia having good health up until around the age of 60, like into the late 50s, 60. That's depressing. I mean, can you imagine that? Anecdotally, BP of Overthrow Media says people from my background, black ex-cons, die in our early 40s, which I 100% believe that. The stress alone of being incarcerated, of being a poor black person in the USA is, I know, deadly. I mean, I know. There's no question. You're talking about a murderous system here. This is murder. It's preventable death. Wouldn't you say that if you could prevent somebody's death, and through greed and inaction and really, I think a lot of the actions are intentional. I mean, honestly, I don't think that's controversial to say, is it? I mean, the capitalist class is intentionally doing things to lower the life expectancy of people like BP. That's not controversial. Look at the policies that they enact. Look at the prison slavery industrial complex that they have, and then tell me it's not an intentional eugenics program. Tell me it's not. Whether you're talking about black folks who are much more likely to go to prison, that adds a great deal of stress and danger and risk to your life. Whether you're talking about houselessness, I mean, there's all these different systems and gaps for people to fall through and die, which we're seeing in the numbers right here. And again, this is the Financial Times. This is a right-wing, financially, economically conservative news source putting this out here. It's actually from the IHME Global Burden of Diseases, the study. Okay, so John continues to say, the average American has some chance of a long and healthy life as someone born in the most deprived part of England, a place with the highest rates of relationship breakdown and some of the highest rates of antidepressant prescribing. So what's happening? Okay, now here's we get into the analysis. Let's see. When people hear about life expectancy, they often think about older people, broad-based health problems, but the US problem is quite specific and quite different. It's young people dying from external causes. 1 in 25 American 5-year-olds today. Okay? And remember, the average like kindergarten class in America probably has more than 25 kids, I would say, from talking to the teachers that I know. But certainly at least 25 students, right? So you're saying one student out of every freaking classroom, 5 years old, will not make it to their 40th birthday. And I'm just about to turn 40 next year, so that's sobering to me. No parent should ever have to bury their child, but on average, across the US, one set of parents from every kindergarten class most likely will. 1 in 25 American 5-year-olds does not make it to their 40th birthday, whereas at older ages, US outcomes are similar to peer countries. So in other words, the people who have already made it into old age are doing okay, but it's the young people who are dying. This is striking. Like, this is really bad. I don't even have words for this. It's, all I can say is this is bad, folks. Beyond age 70, U.S. mortality survival rates are very similar to other rich countries, but between teenage years and early middle age, there's a vast gulf. Look at this. Look at this chart. Okay. Annual mortality rate by age. 4 times higher risk in the USA to these peer countries, which are Australia, Austria, Canada, England, and Wales, France, Germany, Japan, Netherlands, Sweden, Switzerland. Those are the countries they're comparing them to. This has an outsized impact on life expectancy because deaths at early ages erase far more life than even a large number of older folks dying slightly early. More years of American lives were erased by drugs, guns, and road deaths in 2021 alone than from COVID during the whole pandemic. Okay, what are these signs of, folks? I mean, let's just go through the list here. Drugs, poverty. Huge link between drugs and poverty, right? The people who are dying of fentanyl and stuff, these tend to be working class people. These tend to be poorer people, houseless people. The people who are dying of overdose and that sort of thing, people are self-medicating because they have shitty, miserable, horrible lives. Okay? Guns, poverty, and the police, which is, again, tied to poverty. That loops right back in on itself because the police exist they're essentially the gang, the armed, hitmen of the capitalist class that are there to keep working class people, and especially black folks and trans folks and poor folks, in line, right? So yeah, poor people are more likely to die, with gunplay, with drugs, and then road deaths. Where do you think that leads to? First of all, a lot of people that are dying on the road are people who are working as drivers, the most common job in the USA, but also stress, lack of sleep, all the different things that are, again, associated with poverty. These are the kinds of things that lead to road deaths. And then also, of course, alcohol and drug addiction can also lead to road deaths, which is, once again, links right back to poverty, right? It's a working class. Being in the working class in the USA is deadly. Being in the working class in the USA is deadly. The result is that the US is the only developed country where even if you strip out all COVID deaths, life expectancy still dropped by a year since 2019. Now look at this, okay? This is if you took out COVID, if COVID was if you erase that from the data set, right? And you only look at people who died from other causes besides COVID, life expectancy still dropped by a full year since 2019 in the USA. Which, if you look at this chart, compared to the Netherlands, Austria, and the UK, boom, look at that drop. And look at the baseline. And look at how much worse the USA is doing. The USA is a failed state. It does not live up to its hype, its own self-hype. As Bill says, I don't blame anyone for wanting to escape from reality. 100%. Look at the options presented to millions of people in the USA. What are your options? Drugs to escape from the pain and suffering. And by the way, we don't have medical care for millions of people. So if you're in pain, you can't go to see a doctor. You can't get proper therapies and prescriptions and that sort of thing. And I know because I talk to people like Big Villainous and, everyone I know in the USA. Very few people that I know in the USA have real meaningful access to healthcare. So if you're living with pain, what do you have? What are your options besides, substance abuse? And if you're desperate, if you're born into desperate poverty, you have more dangerous options available to you to make ends meet and to earn income, right? I mean, the way that the right wingers would say is that, oh, they're criminals, they're prostitutes, they're this, they're that, and they'll say it in this very disparaging way. But really what it is they're trying to earn money to feed their families and feed themselves and alleviate some of the pain and suffering that they have, right? So what kind of options do they have? The material base, okay? The base. Capitalism is what drives people down these roads that leads to their early deaths. It's the base circumstances. It's the political economy of capitalism that's driving these people to die so young. Sorry, dark humor, but it's not funny, of course, but the U.S. life expectancy only dropped by 1 year since 2019, but that's only if you ignore over 1.2 million deaths. Which, by the way, I know that the number's higher than 1.2 million. The numbers of COVID deaths in the USA were heavily, heavily suppressed. There's no doubt about that. The USA yielded, surrendered, and lost to COVID. Okay, that's fair to say, right? The USA surrendered to COVID. And I'm talking about the government, of course, the bourgeois politicians that run the country. They surrendered to COVID. They surrendered the lives of over 1 million people to COVID. They didn't even put up a fight. Why? Because the people who are at risk, who are they? It's these poor people.
All right, I can stream now with you. If you need it.
Come on in, Luna. Let's talk about this fun.
Show the camera.
Oh, you don't want to come sit closer to me?
No, I don't.
Wow. Oh, great. Now you're going to cough the whole stream. All right, let's keep reading. So we have a steady climb in deaths of despair and other violent external deaths, plus the heavy toll exacted by very high rates of diet-related diseases. Again, linked to poverty. One strong possibility. So why is the USA so badly afflicted? One strong possibility is because the US is the ultimate individual responsibility country. What do we say every week? Individualism is cancerous on society.
I'm so sick of it.
Individualism is a cancer. They surrender to capital, Overthrow Media says. Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact. Capital basically weaponized COVID against poor people and old people and disabled people. And black people and indigenous people, of course. Goes without saying. I think like 7 times more indigenous people than white people died of COVID. I'm going off the top of my head, but something like that. And I don't remember the statistics on black people, but it was multiples more than white people died of COVID. One strong possibility is the individual responsibility country. Every person for themselves, weaker social safety nets. So far more people slip through the cracks and find themselves in situations that make obesity, violence, and drugs more likely. Poverty. I don't know why John can't just say poverty. What the fuck? Like, that's so obviously the common link between all these things. Poverty is linked to obesity, violence, and drugs. I mean, holy smokes, like, say it. It's right there. It's like on the tip of your tongue, but you're not saying it, John. Huge emphasis on personal freedoms. See, even John's using the doctrinal language here.
Yeah, exactly.
It means more guns, more dangerous, unsafe driving, See, this is bullshit. I mean, it's kind of like, I get what the way that it's being phrased is bullshit. The correct way to say this is that the working class in the USA and people in poverty are, to a great extent, heavily indoctrinated. And I guess mostly white people, but not only, are heavily indoctrinated in this idea that freedom should be equated with individualism.
Yeah.
It's not freedom for for society to survive. It's freedom for a single person to not wear mask.
But the fact that John's not, I don't think, has the word poverty even entered into this really? I mean, you did talk about income a little bit in the first two charts, but I mean, come on. The problem here is poverty and the working class being a member of the working class, or the lumpen proletariat in the USA being essentially a death sentence. Okay, we are talking about wider inequalities here, but like, say the word poverty, John. We have a poverty epidemic in the USA. The reason we have hunger and drug abuse epidemics in the USA all goes back to poverty. We don't have hunger in the USA because there's not enough food. There's plenty of food for everybody in the USA. We grow enough food for everybody. That's not the problem. The problem is that people can't afford to buy it. Despite being a richer society on average, the poorest in the US are even poor. See, on average means that there are some people that have so much fucking money that it throws the numbers off.
Exactly. Like
So,
Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, those three guys.
Saying that the USA is a richer society on average is such a misleading way to say that there is extreme wealth inequality. I mean, look at how much farther this chart dips in the USA, right? And look at how much farther on the income axis you have to go. I mean, it's just it's obvious.
Yeah, good morning. Freedom means I get to ignore the existence of everyone around me. Freedom means only me exists.
Well, no, that's not exactly true though, because these people who preach freedom day in and day out, they don't want freedom for trans people. They don't want freedom for disabled people. They don't want freedom for LGBTQ plus people. Mm-hmm. They want to remove civil liberties from us. They want to make it illegal to wear clothes that are not, clothes that are not like what is the
I can't even describe what they want.
The
clothes that are not assigned by the Xander. What?
Clothes that you are not assigned at birth.
Yeah, not resent the
as though God himself has ordained that the color pink and dresses are for. It doesn't even make any sense.
Here's the thing, dude.
It's so frustrating.
Jesus Christ had long hair, and he wore a robe that totally like dress. So
you're straying into dangerous territory. They don't have an answer for that.
They don't.
Jesus had long hair and wore. Yeah, let's look at a picture of Jesus, and let's look at the clothes Jesus wore. I mean, like, think about what we're seeing here, okay? Because they want to make it so that, like, what is that? It's such a doctrinal thing. It's such a thing. It's like, who gets what clothes? Who intended the clothes police that gets to decide what clothes a man wears versus a woman, quote unquote, right? I mean, like, it wouldn't take much. And I'm not trying to be. Look, I'm not being whatever, blasphemous or whatever. I'm not being disrespectful to Christianity by saying this, but it's a fact. They wore, robes. Look at this. That's not pants.
And he has long hair.
If I wore that in Tennessee, I would probably go to jail.
God. Yeah.
If I dressed like this and I went to Tennessee, do you not think that I might go to jail for that? Especially if it was pink. God forbid it was pink. Look, pink. That looks pink to me. I'm not even being insulting right now. I'm being serious. Like, these clothes.
Look at that one.
That's kind of the clothes of my tattoo.
Yeah, right.
That's what Liberty wears.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look at that. If I wore that in Tennessee, I would definitely get arrested.
Yep.
If anything, it's blasphemous to call that white dude Jesus. That's a really good point. BP said, time for Team Kilt show out for trans folks. Come on, y'all. Yeah. Hell yeah, we need the Scottish Brigade. I have a whole video on Christianity and socialism. That's one thing. And also, BP and I did a great stream.
You know what we need now? We need a Rainbow Panther party or something.
They had. We need a trans power movement. We need a trans power movement.
Yep.
We need an LGBTQ power movement.
Mhm.
An army defense force, which there are such organizations. We need more though, and we need more organizing. All right. Sorry, playing the audio for my trailer there. Hold on, I'm just looking at my Jesus video, and I want to show the stream. If you're interested in
So
my,
means that if you're Scottish, you cannot wear your traditional clothes in Tennessee?
I guess not, because it's like lady clothes. I guess.
Yeah.
I want to know who sits on the clothing, the gender, decision panel. Gets to make those decisions. It's not funny though. Like, seriously.
It is fascism. It is scary.
Like, talk about power tripping government. Like, holy smokes.
Actually, we're seeing the USA just getting more and more overtly fast.
Okay, let's talk about the TikTok ban. Somebody brought that up.
All right.
Bill brought it up.
TikTok.
It's not a TikTok ban. It's Patriot Act 2.0.
What's the? Yeah, I mean, they just use the TikTok to distract you from the actual truth behind it, which is very scary.
Check this out, folks. Look, you want to talk about some scary crap? All right, look at this. All right. Here's the bill.
My aunt told me she wasn't allowed to have a TikTok on her company phone, but other social media apps were fine. Kai said.
I like this video. This is a good little concise video.
Yep.
I don't know who this person is. I don't think that they're. All right, hold on. Let's take a look at this. To my knowledge, and I've read the bill. Okay, the TikTok ban bill or whatever they're calling it. And to my knowledge, this is all accurate from what I read. But this is a nice little concise video.
I've been reading the new Restrict Act, aka Senate Bill 686, aka the TikTok ban. And this is a lot worse than I had actually thought it was going to be. You can grab the text yourself from congress.gov, but basically, they can't allow themselves to have access to your home network. That's because this bill also covers wireless local area networks, mobile networks, satellite payloads, satellite operations and control, cable access points, wireline access points, core networking systems, long, short, and backhaul network, or edge computer platform.
But whoop-de-doo, Basil, what does that mean without the gig speak? Everything. Everything coming into your house beyond the demarcation point. Everything in my house. They have access to with this law.
They will also have access to any service with greater than 1 million persons, including internet hosting services, cloud-based or distributed computing and data storage, machine learning, predictive analytics and data science products and services, managed services, and content delivery service. Oh, wait! Desktop applications, mobile applications, gaming applications, payment applications, web-based applications, all of these, it's covered.
Your Xbox Live, your PlayStation Network, your Nintendo Switch, everything, your Steam Market, my Twitch, all of it. But by all means, you keep telling me that a VPN or Tor or I2P is going to matter when we're talking about 20 years, hundreds of thousands of dollars in fines, and you can't access all the rest of the infrastructure because they got it covered A to Z. Contact your politicians. This is a blatant violation of our right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness in addition to the constitutional rights.
So, and no, it's true. 20 years in prison if you access TikTok with a VPN or whatever other services they deem illegal. This is far more like, you want to talk about authoritarianism again.
This is a far worse authoritarianism.
Now, if you've seen Luna's video on the Vietnamese cyber army, okay, the Vietnamese cyber army is essentially like a web security training program for government employees. And there's nothing like this in Vietnam. There's nothing like this in China. You're not going to get 20 years in prison for accessing
VPN.
Yeah, I mean, for using a VPN to access a site like TikTok, you know what I mean? And we're not talking about like
I know Chinese people who use VPN to use Facebook and Instagram
Oh, I know.
and Twitter.
They're not going to get 20 freaking years in prison for that. Now, on top of that, folks, there's so much bullshit with this legislation. On top of that, they're creating a system where corporate lobbyists from companies like Facebook and Google, okay, and Twitter are going to be able to basically sit on these advisory boards and no way. Nick Hamilton is watching this in China. So you're not going to get 20 freaking years for that.
Are you going to get 20 years?
Like no, of course not, because China is not nearly as authoritarian as the USA. Everything the USA says about China and Vietnam and North Korea or what have you is pure projection. It's all projection. The USA does everything that it claims these countries do, but worse than even they claim. Mm-hmm. So listen, they're going to make an advisory board where lobbyists from these corporate social media sites, American corporate social media sites, are going to be able to basically guide legislators through making decisions on what gets banned and what doesn't. So imagine that Facebook and Twitter and Google lobbyists are going to be sitting there saying, oh, this website, it's from a foreign country, and I think they're tampering with elections. We should probably make that illegal to access in the USA. And they'll basically be able to, and this is what capitalism has done from the beginning. They've never believed in a free market.
Nope.
They've never, ever once believed in a free market. They have the most interventionist market in the world, but it's always interventionism that favors the highest echelons of the ruling class. Yep. The regulation and everything, it's always in favor of the highest echelons of the ruling class. So if they really believed in all the shit that they say about the free market, then they would let the free market, let the chips fall where they may, and let competition decide which social media platforms are better.
Let
the invisible hand would guide TikTok to glory or
have to do so much protectionism.
Why can't we all just vote with our dollar, folks?
Yeah, right.
But no, I mean, this is really terrifying. The extent of the reach. Johnny Bravo, I think you forgot to answer my question in chat.
Okay. What question?
Luna, find Johnny Bravo's chat. I don't know.
Giant what?
Johnny Bravo, which is a really good cartoon, by the way.
Johnny.
Or at least I haven't seen that show in 25 years. Maybe it doesn't hold up. Maybe it could be worse than I thought. I don't know. But I liked it when I was a kid. All right, what are we looking at? We don't have to read. Go read the bill, though. Read the bill. I encourage you to read the bill. It's kind of boring to read it out loud, so I'm not going to read it out loud. But go read the bill. I encourage you. What is it? Oh, yeah. I made a whole video, and I meant to link to that. I thought that I linked to that. If you want it, no, I don't think that Jesus had a concept of socialism because there was no capitalism at the time. But I do think that the early Christians were very collectivist and lived communally, and I think that Jesus said a lot of things that align far more with socialist values than with capitalist values. And I think that Jesus would be disgusted and horrified with the individualist capitalist ideology of the USA and its puppet government states and client states around the world. That's my opinion. I do have a video though on Jesus. If you just go to non-compete, youtube.com/non-compete and type in Jesus, it's called was Jesus a socialist or something like that. And you can watch the whole video if you want to know more. We also did a great stream on non-compete live, youtube.com/non-compete live. If you look up Christian Empire, I think you'll find a great interview we did where we talked to a person who knows a lot about the history of Christianity and made some interesting points. Okay. Me here, Jane says, I see these posts about some manga covers are censored in Vietnam, how films are censored in China. They never talk about the USA censoring voices of whole nations. Whole nations.
The 13 the nations right there.
If you want to understand how the USA censors everything and completely dictates what we think about.
Oh my gosh, it reminds me of the Pocahontas Disney movie.
Yeah, that's a great example of rewriting history, for sure. But yeah, inventing reality. That's exactly the book by Michael Parenti is called Inventing Reality, and that's exactly Pocahontas is an example of inventing reality. But everything that we discuss, they set an agenda, they set a framework, a perceptual reality so that word perceptual reality. Let's unpack that. So what Parenti said, we talked about this last week. So if you were here, this is like a continuation of that discussion. Parenti says that capitalism develops a perceptual reality that we are all confined to. that means it's not a material reality. Okay, so it's not materialism. Wow, we got a $5.80 tip from Anonymous, and it's in Chinese.
Huh? Copy that.
This is from 6 days ago, though.
What? Really?
We missed this last week, I guess. Let me translate this. I'm curious now.
I can read 2 or 3 words, but that's it.
You can? What are the words that you can read?
Run mean people?
Long live the great unity of the people of the world.
Yeah.
I like that. Well, thank you, Anonymous, whoever you are. How do you say thank you in Chinese?
谢谢。
谢谢，同志。
谢谢同志。
谢谢同志。Oh yeah, the Global Times report on human rights violations in the USA. I actually love that. I mean, look, the Global Times is definitely, it's definitely like, it was released on my birthday last year. You know, the Global Times is obviously biased, right? Like no one would deny that, but I still think it's interesting to check in on the Global Times every so often. Okay, with the bias, and it's a very bombastic paper. Okay, it's very doctrinal in its own way. All right, but it's a different perspective than you're ever going to get from like any kind of Western press. Human rights violations in 2021. This is from Global Times, China, a Chinese website. A heavy price for U.S. epidemic prevention and control. U.S. has the world's highest number of COVID-19 cases and deaths, with 34.51 million. This is from 2021. Million confirmed cases and 480,000 fatalities in 2021. Look, this is what we were just talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Mass shootings, 693 mass shootings in 2021, up 10% from 2020.
Means 2 mass shootings every day.
Yeah. More than 44,000 people were killed in gun violence. Fake democracy tramples on political rights. 420 bills with House provisions that restrict voting access have been introduced in the United States. Public trust in the government has fallen to an almost historical low since 1958. Around 81% of Asian American adults said violence against Asian communities is rising. Hate crimes against Asians in the New York City jumped 361% from 2020. U.S. detained more than 1.7 million migrants at its southern border, including 45,000 children, which, by the way, this is still going on. This is not stopped. Biden has not stopped this at all.
No.
Violent law enforcement claimed 557 lives, the highest number since 1998. Yeah, where's the lie? Bill asks. I ask the same. U.S. war on terror has killed millions of people. A U.S. drone strike during its withdrawal of troops from Afghanistan killed 10 members of an Afghan family, including 7 children, among which the youngest was only 2 years old. Now imagine if China did that.
Yeah, right. Imagine.
The U.S. still has 39 detainees at Guantanamo prison. I mean, you know.
I mean, I've been done telling you if the U.S. police itself as it's been policing the world, you know what would happen.
But this TikTok ban thing, like, don't call it a TikTok ban. Don't call it that. It is an invasive, authoritarian overreach. It's fucking awful, is what it is.
What kind of country that facing hundreds, nearly 1,000 mass shootings every year? What kind of country would you describe that? How can you describe that kind of country? Mass shooting, nearly 1,000 every single year.
Pathetic. A pathetic country. A pathetic excuse for a country.
It's a sick country.
Thing about Global Times is that, at least in my experience, there's no high and mighty thing about being unbiased. Yeah, I mean, they're open about who they are and what their perspective is and everything. What country does this? A suicidal one? Well, no, it's not suicidal, really. I would say, here's why I don't think so, because it's eugenic. It's a eugenics program, developed and implemented by the ruling class to keep workers and poor people suppressed and repressed. So I would say it's more like omnicidal, I guess, or is there a word for like class eugenics? I don't know. But going back to the Twitter thread that we read from John with the Financial Times. I mean, where the hell is it? I lost it. I have to re-find it. Here it is. John Murdoch. What's his name? John Murdoch.
The U.S. had 647 mass shooting in 2022.
How many?
647.
How are they defining a mass shooting? Because like
Yeah.
there's different ways to define it. But yeah, I mean it's a lot. It's a hell of a lot. But this is all poverty. This is poverty. This is murder, mass murder of poor people, mass murder of working people, mass murder of the people who make your life possible. If you're in the middle class, as we say, right, quote unquote middle class, if you have any kind of a comfortable life, it's because these people who are dying from poverty make your life comfortable, whether they are custodians and janitors who keep your banks and your hospitals and your workplace clean, or the migrant workers who are picking the food that you eat, or slaughtering the animals in very dangerous, horrifying working conditions to make the food that you eat, or the food service workers who cook the meals that you eat, the professional drivers who are transporting the goods across the country, the delivery drivers for Amazon that are bringing you your shit. These are the people that are dying of poverty, and they're the ones that make your life more comfortable, if you have any comfort at all. And if you are one of these people that's going to die of poverty, then I hope to God you have some class consciousness and you'll join the worldwide revolutionary movement to overthrow capitalism. The political economy, the system which has thrown more than 1 billion people into extreme poverty since the early 90s, the system that has killed millions of people around the world due to preventative deaths from COVID-19. Johnny, we talked about the Trump indictment a little bit earlier, and the conclusion is like, let them fight. It's like one strain of fascism versus another.
Yeah, I mean the orthodox fascism and the neoliberal fascism.
Classicidal. Yeah, I would say that's what it is. The eradication and suppression of the working class. See, here's the thing, though. Capitalism will destroy yourself. You don't have to do much. This kind of attitude, and I'm not throwing shade. I'm not attacking you. I know what you're saying. It will collapse in a way. But the question is, how will it collapse? And what will happen to the innocent people who form the bulk of society as it collapses? Because it could collapse into fascism. It could collapse into devastating collapse of like our ecosystem. There are a lot of different ways that it could collapse. The reason we have to have scientific socialism and try to use practice and theory to guide the collapse and the rebuilding of society in a scientifically determined, carefully planned and carried out manner is to prevent fascists from taking over, to prevent ecological destruction as much as possible, to assuage the harm that's done to the working class. So, I mean, you're right in a sense. I'm not saying you're completely wrong. Capitalism will destroy itself, but the question is, how will it destroy itself and what will it be replaced with? I'm not one who believes that we are guaranteed socialism and communism at all. I think that there's if things continue at the rate they're happening right now, in the direction they're happening right now, seems to me we're heading towards some kind of horrifying fascist future in the USA, at least, where I'm from, and most of the quote unquote Western world. So, I'm not saying that you're saying that we should just like throw our hands up and do nothing, but we should not do that for sure. Imperialism could collapse into straight up warlording if we don't do anything. And it's happened. That's a funny thing. People talk about how great capitalism is and how socialist countries are so poor, but the poorest, like what is it? The poorest 100 countries or something? The poorest half of countries basically are capitalist. And how many capitalist countries have collapsed into like warlord, complete, chaos? Dozens and dozens of them.
And also, when they talk about the fact that socialist country or poor, they never mention the fact who made us poor. The U.S. bombed Vietnam back to the Stone Age 50 years ago. Now, let's see if the USA were bombed back to the Stone Age 50 years ago. Let's see how they're doing now.
Comrade Internet just reminded me of something Gramsci wrote. Comrade Internet says, you don't have to do much to knock it over, but you do need to make sure that there's something in place to fill the void. So Gramsci talked about how okay, there's a characteristic of capitalism which we all know is very predictable, which is crisis. There will always be crisis under capitalism, and it's very predictable.
Every 7 or 8 years.
No. I mean, well, yeah, that used to be the case for most of our lives, but it's compressed now. We're having crises after crisis. We're having like continual crisis now, right?
Yeah.
But what Gramsci wrote was that he compared crisis to like the artillery of the working class, because one thing Gramsci recognized was that workers have to work a lot. We have to work. We have to earn money. We don't have resources like the ruling class does, right? If the ruling class wants to create propaganda that millions of people are going to see, they just hire people to do that. They have enough money and resources to just, that's what the Koch brothers do. That's what all these corporations do when they do their anti-LGBTQ AstroTurf campaigns and that kind of shit to divide the working class. They have all these resources to do that kind of stuff. We don't. We have to work. We have very few resources. Our reach is much lower, right? So what we have to do is take advantage of the crisis, right? So if you think of it, like we're kind of like we're in this asymmetrical warfare position where we're constantly bombarded all the time, and we're essentially kind of like huddling and hiding and scurrying around, right? But every so often there's a huge crisis like COVID, like the George Floyd uprising, like there are the Wall Street Occupy Wall Street, stuff like that. Which was from the financial collapse. But there's all these little crises. Yeah, inflation's a huge problem now, massive problem in the USA. And
imagine pay $12 for a McDonald's meal for one person.
Right.
Enough to survive.
Now there's a different. I would personally say there's a difference between what I'm talking about and what Gramsci was talking about versus accelerationism. Accelerationism is like, yeah, we want capitalism to catastrophically collapse and we want as much calamity and chaos as possible, blah, 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 blah. I'm not an accelerationist at all. But what I'm saying is that if we're going to have crisis no matter what, it's unavoidable. It's sewn into the material reality of the political economy which we exist in. We need to learn how to leverage that. It's kind of like Aikido. You know Aikido?
Yes.
You use your enemy's strength and weight against them, right? We need to do that kind of thing.
It has a strategy in the Vietnam War that the Vietnamese used, soldiers used against the U.S. troops. You go like grab the enemy by the belly.
By the belt, right?
Oh, by the belt. Yeah.
Grab the enemy by the belt. So that's an interesting strategy. Let me explain what Luna's talking about, or do you want to explain it?
You do it.
Why do I have to do it?
Do it. I just want to know how you understand it.
Oh, is this like a pop quiz?
Mm-hmm.
Fuck. All right. For my understanding is the USA has, imagine you're a Vietnamese guerrilla, right? 1969, the heat of the fighting. And the USA has overwhelming military force in the sense that they have bombs, they have artillery, they have napalm, they have tanks, they have superiority in terms of technology and just force majeure, right? So what you do, and remember, most of that is heavily destructive. So napalm and explosions and things like that. So what you do is you grab the enemy by the belt, which means you stay so close to the American soldiers that if they want to drop a bomb on your forces, they're going to be killing their own people. So you stay real close. You stay right up in their faces. Yeah. And what that really was is essentially what I was just saying is it's using the enemy's strengths against them, turning their strengths into a weakness. Exactly. The only reason they're able to arrive, by the way, at a brilliant strategy like that is because von Zapp was a dialectical materialist. And if you read People's War, People's Army, you'll see dialectical materialism woven throughout that entire book, where von Zapp explains how he defeated the French in Dien Bien Phu. Yeah. Sorry, I'm just reading the chats right now. Millennials in the USA won't have a midlife crisis because every day is a crisis under capital suppression.
Having a midlife crisis has become a privilege. It means that you
have a midlife, really. If you look at these statistics, honestly, I mean, most of these kids, I mean, not most of them, but 1 out of 25 of these kids today aren't going to live to have a midlife. They're going to die before they turn 40. Disgusting. Oh, here we go. The good morning. Too many working class and marginalized people don't understand the enemy in proper, clear terms. Everyone's falling for scapegoats of one kind or another. Yeah. I would say that they're turning on. We are turning on each other far too often, which brings me back to Chris Richards' tweet, which I love so much. Tattoo this on your arm tomorrow afternoon. Tomorrow's Sunday, right? We can all go get matching tattoos of this tweet. The idea that the culture war is a distraction from class struggle is a right-wing grift. The culture war is an attack on working class solidarity.
Yes.
This is so well composed. It's just like, boom, there it is. That's exactly what Luna and I have been trying to say week in, week out for years and years and years.
It's not a distraction. It's an attack to divide and conquer us.
Yeah.
And we have to address it and to put it down, not to ignore it.
It's so obvious. Like, how are you going to unite the working class? Are you going to unite the working class by saying, trans people, you're bad. Disabled people, we don't care about you. You know, you're all distractions. Everything that hurts you in your life is a distraction.
Forget about your struggles. We just have to focus on this. Like, no, this is our.
That is going to
life.
just fracture and splinter the working class. If you want to unite everyone together, you got to say, hey, you're having problems. I see that. I'm having problems too. Let's talk about it. Let's share our experiences. Let's listen to each other. Let's have some compassion for one another.
Together. Not just like, hey, ignore your own problem. Just care about my problem only.
And by the way, it's not just Luna and I saying this. Go read fucking Ho Chi Minh, Vogel Zap.
Yeah.
Go read Marx. Go read Engels. They all said the same thing. And all these fake debate fascists and MAGA fascists and all this kind of all these fake pseudo communists who are claiming otherwise, they don't want you to understand this, which is the philosophy of dialectical materialism. And by the way, the ebook is free, everyone. The ebook is available right now for free. Go read it at your leisure.
BanyanHouse.org.
They don't want you to understand how contradictions work. They don't want you to understand how development works. They don't want you to understand how we build a radical movement and how other people in other places around the world have built successful revolutions.
And here's the thing too, it's not a coincidence at all that most of the class reductionists that I know, they're mostly white, male, straight.
Of course not.
Not all of them, but like most of them that I know. Because like they are white, male, and cis. They are so high in the rank of privilege and racism. That is why they have the nerve, they have, like the ignorance to tell oppressed people to ignore our own struggles, to focus on class struggle. They're like, what are you talking about? Racism is class struggle.
Now, let me repeat what I said earlier, by the way, if this is hurting your feelings. I'm a white dude, okay? I'm a part of the movement. I feel welcome in the spaces that I go to where, with communists and anarchists and that sort of thing, we want white dudes to participate. We just want you to dismantle. We need to dismantle. Speaking as a white dude, we need to dismantle the chauvinist, misogynist, racist, transphobic ideology that is inculcated into us, infused into us from birth. It's part of the process of becoming a comrade. It's so obvious. It's so freaking obvious. Hold on. I wanted to see something real quick. We got about 10 minutes left. So I wanted to show you all the ebook just so you can have a look at it. Oops. Whoa. Uh-oh. I'm going to have to actually download it from.
Oh, you have to download your
I'm going to have to download my own ebook. So I'm going now to banyanhouse.org/shop where I can get a free copy of the book. We're just going to call it the book, and we're going to call it the book until part 2 comes out. Then we'll call it part 1.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
So I want to show everybody the ebook. Okay, so if you go to banyanhouse.org/shop right now, you yourself can go. You can also find it on archive.org. It's called The Worldview and Philosophical Methodology of Marxism-Leninism. Let me just download it real quick, and I'll show it to y'all. Come on now.
Oh, I like this. People forget it's a paradox. We are not socialists because we live in a socialist world. You can't expect to build socialism with the socialists. You have to make socialists.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
It's scientific socialism because it is the construction of a movement to liberate the working class.
Socialist people first
with socialist values.
Before you have a socialist revolution and socialist society. You cannot just force socialism onto a society that is not educated enough and not ready for it. That is why Vietnam, we've been building and educating socialist people since the 50s.
Mm-hmm.
We started that education program even when we were having the war against the French.
And by the way, if you want to feel better about our situation in like the USA and in the West, at the time that Vietnam started building their socialist people with socialist values, most of the people in Vietnam, the vast majority, couldn't even read. They didn't have YouTube. They didn't have any of that stuff.
Yeah. And to do that from the late
Okay,
40s.
wait. Perfect timing. We just had I just said that, and then immediately we got this coming up the Twitch. The socialists are a niche group of educated people. In Vietnam, once again, I'll say it again, in the 30s, 40s, and 50s, when the socialist movement was building and gained speed tremendously fast, what was the percentage of Vietnamese people that couldn't read?
90%.
90% of those comrades couldn't read. I dare say your grandpa who died was probably, could he read?
The other grandpa was poor and he knew how to read and write thanks to the night class of the communists who taught him how to read and write in the 40s.
There you go. That's such proof that what RRB03 is saying here is BS. Luna's grandfather couldn't read and write until the communists taught him how to. So miss me with that. Thank you, but miss me with that.
And then he became a socialist fighter, communist, and he became a martyr who died in 1968 in Tet Offensive.
I mean, look, that's also like a very, like, that like how many, like there's like 1 billion communists in Asia, at least. I mean, there's 6 million members of the Communist Party in Vietnam alone.
5.2 to be exact.
I know. So it's probably more than that by now, I would say. When's the last time we looked into that, by the way?
Last year?
There's at least 5 million, 5% of the population. But the population's grown so much. That's why I say that. Because, remember we were saying like 96 million?
Yeah.
Now it's 100 million? We need to update that number. Anyway, my point is there's at least 5 million members of the Communist Party in Vietnam. Luna's not even a member of the Communist Party. By the way, she can't become we found this out. Luna can't become a member of the Communist Party because of me. Until I get my Vietnamese citizenship.
Until you become a Vietnamese citizen.
I'm a security risk, I guess. But yeah, anyway, there's like millions of Vietnamese communists that are not members of the party because the only people who really join the party are people who want to go into like a political career for the most part.
Explain that to Obi.
The ebook requires you. No. Go to the archive.org. Just go to archive.org. There's a link to archive.org. And by the way, also you could just put in fake shit. Like when it asks you for your address or your email or whatever, just use a burner email and use a fake name.
Well, PO address.
You could, but here's the little secret too. Here's the little secret. It's all coming from archive.org anyway. The files are hosted on archive.org. So just in the banyanhouse.org/shop thing, just click the archive.org link. I'm going to make that more prominent after the stream, by the way, because we realized at the beginning of the stream, I didn't know this, that the archive.org link doesn't look like a link because of the formatting of the style sheet and shit. So anyway, I'm going to fix that. I've discovered that while we were streaming here today. So I'm going to go in and make it more prominent that you can download it directly from archive.org. But yeah, you don't have to like put your real address and stuff in there. That's for sure. Now, if you're buying something with your credit card, they probably do need you to put in your, obviously we would need your address to ship you the book. So if you're buying the print book, wait a minute, I got to make this clear.
Take two.
If you're buying the print book, unfortunately, you do have to give us your address so I can ship it to you. So
an actual phone number so we can call you.
If you have, if the delivery driver needs to call you or whatever, but if you're getting the ebook, then just put in whatever bullshit you want. We don't care.
You can make some awesome, cool communist fake name whatsoever.
Yeah, you could be Karl Marx 69. I don't care. Karl Marx 69, 420 Communism Street, Communism, Illinois. I don't know. Anyway, what were we talking about though? Wait, why is Kai saying this? Luna, EJ is holding you back. Dump her. Whoa, Kai.
Oh.
That's what is this an April Fool's joke?
Praxis.
I hope this is an April Fool's joke. That's weird because usually the toxic Luna fans tell Luna to dump me. This might be the first
But now
time.
the toxic non-complete fan.
Wow, Kai's.
Mm.
All right. Well, this is just a little balance.
How does it feel to
Balance.
have a toxic
I
fan?
feel balance restored to the universe.
that we both have
Equilibrium.
A toxic fans.
It's what Lenin would call equilibrium.
Oh my god.
Kai, wait, don't ban Kai. I think Kai was joking. Kai is a friend of the
cool.
Kai's a friend of the
Kai
show.
Is our good comrade.
I'm thinking there's still 2 hours left to April Fool's Day here where we are. Or I guess it's 1 hour at this point.
Ooh, I like this.
The Ghost of Karl Marx was my old Patreon name. Oh yeah, I remember that.
Lenin has alerted this booth. What if all people from now on, just when they download the book, it's just name like Lenin, Marx, Engels, the three of them.
That's amazing.
And Lenin, Marx, and Engels level feedback.
I'm waiting. I'm trying to get this. Where's the intro? Hold on. Where's this thing at? Show in folder. Yeah.
EJ fans get disappointed when they find out he's married.
Aww. It's a joke. Don't worry. I said it for the comment. Oh.
I know.
Okay, I get it. Okay. I didn't make that connection, but I knew there was a joke in there somewhere.
I know.
Don't ban Kai. Come on. We give Kai at least 2 chances every time.
You have 2 more chances.
Well, 1 more chance now.
One more. Well.
All right.
Well.
What am I doing here? Oh, I want to show the ebook.
Wisely.
Yeah, use it wisely, Kai. Wait for the right time to strike.
Where are the sexy glasses, EJ?
Where are my sexy glasses? They're right there. This is my.
That's weird.
This is fan service.
And then
It's only with long hair that I look.
you nerds, you watchers, you are nerds. You're like, this is the most nerdy glasses you can get.
Luna,
you consider this
wait a minute.
sexy.
Wait a minute, Luna. I think you're just jealous of everyone horning in because you're the one that picked these glasses out for me at the glasses shop.
I did.
At Your Eyes Glasses Shop, which every time I think of that glasses shop, the fucking song gets stuck in my head for weeks. In your eyes. Our optometry shop is called Your Eyes in Da Nang. And every time I see one of our glasses cases, it says Your Eyes, and that goddamn song gets stuck in my head. In your eyes, the light, the heat in your eyes. Oh, I want to feel the light and the heat. That's like
okay,
every
now
time.
how many of you in the chat will get obsessed with this song in the next 12 hours?
It's an earworm. It's a freaking earworm. All right, I'm trying to find this EPUB. Where the heck is it?
Peter Gabriel is awesome.
I agree. Don't you want to shock the monkey? Oh, this is a zip. Is this a zip?
We are all so nerdy that we think that this glasses is sexy.
It's from Stargate. I really think it's from Stargate.
It. You really look like Daniel now.
It's the Daniel. What's his last name?
Daniel something.
Oh my God. Jackson. Daniel Jackson.
Daniel Jackson.
How could we forget that? Because Teal always calls him by his full name. Remember?
Andros.
Look at that. Our chat is better than Google.
Yeah.
All right. I just imported the book.
Omega said, I downloaded the book as a PDF. Yeah, enjoying reading it out.
Yeah. Or just read it on your tablet or your computer or whatever you want. It's all good. It's all good in the hood.
Ooh.
Bret Hart sunglasses circa 1989. Wait a minute.
Let
me think about what Bret Hart. Bret the Hitman Hart. I have those in Vietnam. I have a pair of those in Vietnam. So remind me when we're back in Vietnam and we're back in our studio. And I will hundo.
Andrews, yeah, we are also huge fans of, Stargate.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, we've seen literally all, 600 episodes of Stargate?
Oh, yeah, we are a couple that was so nerdy that we watch every single episode in order of Star Trek. And not Star Wars, though. You show me a better order, though. You're so nerdy, you show me a better order towards Star Wars.
I don't
remember that. And then we also watch every single episode of Stargate and Stargate Universe.
Well, we're nerds. What do you want? What do you expect?
Hey, nerd couple.
What do you expect?
There's a super chat.
What does it say?
Oculus Sinister. Put in 1,600. 1,600.
That's the White House address. I don't think that's illegal. Let's be careful. Let's be careful here, folks. Let's be sensible. For some reason, the EPUB is not loading on this thing.
Did you do why do you read this word? How do you read it?
Machete order for Star Wars? I might have. It's been a long time. I think I Googled it. I also Googled what's the other thing that we watched in a very specific order? Babylon 5. When you watch Babylon 5, you have to watch it in a very specific order.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of stuff out there and it's not particularly well organized. All right, so I guess what I'm going to do is
Star Trek communism.
there's definitely a lot of discussion to be had from a communist perspective about Star Trek. That's
You
for
always
sure.
right. We like books and space.
We like books. We like space. We like Babylon 5.
We like Firefly too.
We like Firefly.
It's so awesome. I don't know why they canceled it after the first.
Well, it might be for the better.
It's so good.
Sometimes it's good that things burned out early. I don't know that it could have gotten irritating pretty quick. I don't know. Like Buffy, you couldn't even watch Buffy. Sorry, we're just talking about nerd shit now. Babylon 5 is Firefly on hard mode. Yeah, Bab 5 is pretty sick. Pretty sick, yo. All right, I don't have Windows e-reader. I don't have a Windows e-reader. But I can show you the PDF at least. We'll do that. Let's do that. Because we're tired and running over time. So take a look at the PDF. Present. Oh, to stop the screen.
I
Window.
cannot watch Buffy. It's like something so cheesy.
Yeah, Luna can't get into the like intentional cheese of Buffy. Yeah, this is kind of what I was thinking. Twin Rabbit kind of said what I'm thinking. Firefly definitely needed to be canceled. He would have ruined it with any more seasons. Killing Wash in the movie is just proof of that. Yeah. Yep. Agreed. Wash was like, in my headcanon, Serenity's not part of my headcanon. Wash never died. Wash is alive and well. All right. So this is the PDF, folks. This is it. 3 years of work right here. There's the cover. Look at that. Luna drew it. Remember that. If you want to print this out, it is designed to have, it does have a gutter. So you got to print it out in like the right order and everything like that. But it does have the gutter. And it will basically be an exact mirror copy of the book if you print it out with the right settings and everything, you know. But yeah, this is the PDF. Look at that. I love that the slop stash is there. It's like all these normal real names and then the slop stash. Yeah, we got a lot of formatter here. Preface by Vijay Prashad, Dr. Vijay Prashad.
Is it A4 or 8.5 times 11?
It's 7 inches by 10 inches.
7 by 10.
Which I think is a perfect size, to be honest. I was not really sure. You know what's funny is like the whole time that we were writing the book and laying it out and everything, we didn't really know how it would feel in the hands until it came, you know. But this is like a great size because it is a thick THICC.
Yeah.
It is a thick book. It does have a little junk in its trunk. But this makes it nice and compact and it feels good in the hand. Because, you know, if it was any bigger, I feel like it would be like flopping around and stuff. It's like, I don't know, it's good. It's got a pretty...
It's the size of Vietnamese textbook too.
The gutter, if you look at the gutter... Hold on. Let me remove this screen real quick. I think this worked out really well, you know, because it's tight. It's getting right up on the edge there, but you can read it comfortably. And Luna read the whole thing cover to cover like 3 times looking for mistakes and stuff.
Not 3 times, at least 7 or 8 times.
7 or 8 times and said it was very comfortable read. So hopefully y'all feel the same way. I mean, we'll take feedback if there's anything you would change in future editions or whatever. But I'm very, very, very happy with how it turned out. I think it looks great. Vijay Prashad and Taimur Raman, Dr. Taimur Raman. Yeah. Both
Amazing.
offered the preface and introduction. But yeah, you can read it on your Kindle with the EPUB. You can read it on your tablet. You know what you can read it on and what you can't, I guess. I don't need to. I mean, that's common knowledge, I suppose. But anyway.
He knows it. I was seeing how it looks on my Kindle and finally have the reason to use it.
Oh, man. I use my Kindle all the time. Luna, I have an old Kindle, and I'm trying to give it to Luna, and she doesn't even want it.
That's the same size of that tablet, right? The book.
More or less. The tablet's actually a little bit bigger than the book. Have you heard of Second Thought? What's your opinion? Yeah, we know Second Thought. I mean, yeah, Luna knows Second Thought.
I know Second Thought. Yeah.
We sent Second Thought a copy of the book.
Yeah.
I have not really watched Second Thought's videos though, to be honest. Just haven't had a chance. Have you watched them?
I did watch them, but are you talking about any specific video?
I don't think I've seen any of Second Thought's videos.
Oh, really? I did watch them. I like
Luna knows Second Thought better than I do.
Mm-hmm. I like them.
But I don't have any. I have only positive vibes about Second Thought. I've never actually had a conversation with Second Thought. Luna has.
Oh,
but,
Conrad, you ordered 3 books. Did you receive all 3 books today? I'm just terrified.
Yeah, I know. We're so worried.
We're so worried.
Look, this room we're in right now. I mean, like, you want to talk about? We were just surrounded by stacks and stacks of the freaking book. Like, it was like our own hell we created for ourselves.
Couldn't even walk.
Let me show you what we have. Check this out. You're not gonna believe this.
I did receive all 3. Oh, what a relief.
This is just one. We had about 5 more of these. You know what this is?
It's just.
This is
Just the animal.
hundreds and hundreds of bubble mailers.
And we use like all 5 of those boxes.
You know, it's like, it's
Wow.
ridiculous.
3
So,
in the same package. Yeah, because I was the one who packed them.
Luna packed them, so if there's any problems, talk to her. No, we were working together. But Luna did all the bulk orders that had like more than 2 copies. Oh, the ebook finally loaded into my e-reader. Nice. Okay, so now I can actually show you. Oh, this is cool. Let me show you this. This is the EPUB version. This is what I actually wanted to show. Here we go. So this is the EPUB version. I think it's pretty classy. It's pretty classy, right, Luna?
Yeah.
I don't know how do you go to the next page? I've never used this program before. What the fuck? I go to the next page. Oh, pages. That can't be the way you do it, can it?
That's interesting.
No, oh, down here. Okay, sorry. I just didn't see that. Okay, yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. Here we go. So this is exactly what we were just looking at, but this is the EPUB version.
Mm-hmm.
Now let me just skip ahead a lot because I want to show you, I mean, this is like obvious, but I think it's cool. Like, okay, it says, see the relationship between matter and consciousness. Oh, well, what the hell?
Why? Cannot click it?
Wait, let me see if it works in this book. This is the like desktop interface for my e-reader, so it's not fully functional.
Yeah.
Let me see if it works on my actual book, though.
Oh my gosh.
What?
You did it great. It survived the USPS leaving it out in the rain.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
That's scary.
Oh my god. Good lord. I'm happy for you.
It hasn't synced, I guess. Well, this is annoying. Tell us if your e-reader has problems with the book, by the way, so we can fix them. But every other app I used, and when I was looking at it on my Kindle, it worked fine. But on this desktop version of my friggin' e-reader, the links aren't working. Does anybody happen to have a copy of this thing? Hold on, it's downloading. Oh, look, we got a bot.
Yeah.
Can someone ban the bot on Twitch?
And the bot. Oh, Kai. It was funny.
No.
Kai. It was really funny.
We knew you were joking. The chat doesn't know you like we know you, Kai.
We knew that you were joking.
We didn't feel. If I thought the boundaries were pushed, I would have.
Yeah, I know. I laughed.
Yeah.
You know?
Luna laughed hysterically. Luna was kind of agreeing with you, actually.
Yeah, definitely.
Jeez Louise. But no problem. Comme ça.
You think you could make a live version of this so I can trick people into learning dialectical material themselves?
That's a great idea.
That's a great idea.
Okay, I'm now opening this on my e-reader itself. If the links don't work on this, I will be kind of pissed.
Yeah.
Let's see. Hold on.
It looks so nice.
It does look awesome. Like this is on my. Hold on. Full screen, Luna.
Oh, full screen, you, huh? Your full screen.
It looks cool, right? Oh, by the way, I snagged this thing so cheap on eBay. I got this thing like less than half the price. This is a Remarkable too. You know what? Here's my advice for eBay: misspell things. Go on eBay and misspell things. You will find the best deals because people go in and they'll list things and it's like they misspell it, and there will be like no bids for like weeks and weeks. And I'm like, let me just find. You got to go pretty deep into the book before it starts linking things because you got to get into the meat of it. So hold on.
I have the same e-reader and it's working well with mine. I can click links as well.
Oh, you have the Remarkable too? That's cool.
That's cool.
This thing, I don't recommend it, honestly. I would not pay retail for this thing.
No.
It's like really expensive if you buy it new. If you can get a deal on it, it's pretty cool. But it's only if you do a lot of writing and reading would I recommend this.
Oh, thank you, Scott. Thank you. Can't wait to get a copy. I mean, if you already order, it's coming. I hope so.
Ah, okay. Here's a link. This makes me think this is a shortcoming of my reader because...
Cannot click it?
No, because on my Kindle, though, it works fine. Wait, maybe with the pencil? Yeah. No, it's just drawing on it.
Oh. Maybe that... It work on your Kindle, though?
The Kindle, it works fine. I think this is a shortcoming of this damn thing. That's what I'm saying. I don't recommend this, actually.
Don't recommend, even though it's cool. Don't recommend it. It's too expensive.
It's too early.
Yeah, it's too early. You should wait for maybe, like the next third generation.
Yeah.
Really to buy it.
Unless you do a lot of writing. If you're like a student or a professor or a writer,
and you note a lot.
And you write a lot, and you do take a lot of notes and stuff, then it's cool. But
even there, I mean, if your financial situation is not great,
it's overpriced. It's overpriced.
Normal note, please.
Anyway, this isn't a tech review channel. I don't know why I can't click these friggin' links. That's annoying. I think that's a shortcoming.
What I just got here.
It's called a Remarkable too. It's like a tablet.
Yeah.
Anyway, there are better ones you can write on. Innocent Fugitive says the Super Note. Well, where were you when I was scouring eBay for misspelled tablets?
Ones you can write on. I mean,
the iPad. Luna has an old. What version of iPad do you have? Anyway, it was like $150 or something, right?
Something like that.
Luna does it for drawing. She loves it.
So this tablet would be great for do the lining, sketching.
Yeah.
But not for coloring.
No, of course not. It's just black and white. That's all. All right. Well, folks, let me just check to make sure we didn't miss anything here on Stream Elements or anything like that. I guess we'll say one last time. Oh, hey, McClubbin, 22 minutes ago. McClubbin, I'm sorry. Like, I feel like we're always late reading your super chats. Oh, and by the way, McClubbin, we need to send McClubbin the book.
That book.
We have a special book for you, McClubbin.
We have a special book for you, McClubbin.
It will be signed and numbered. Yeah, here we go. Number 94 out of 200. So that's coming at you. We'll ship it out tomorrow, McClubbin. We've just had to get through maybe not tomorrow because it's Sunday, but Monday we'll.
Monday.
But McClubbin said, "Congrats again, comrades. I hope you have a good weekend." Well, thank you very much, McClubbin. And I hope all of you all have good weekends as well. One last call to action. Go check out the book. Start reading it. And what I wanted to say before we go, don't read it alone. The ebook is free. Go find some comrades, make a study group. The other thing I want to invite you to do is just email Luna and I if you have questions about it, because it is unfamiliar territory for most of us, right? If you haven't been in an environment where this is taught in childhood like Luna is, this is all really new kind of stuff. And even with the annotations and everything and the diagrams and everything else, it can be hard to wrap your head around. So if you have questions, if there's anything you're not figuring out, feel free to reach out to Luna and I. We would love to answer your questions. And also find comrades to study with, because they're going to have perspectives and insights and stuff that you're not going to have, and you'll have some that they don't have.
And it's better to have somebody to discuss what you don't understand or what you do understand.
Yeah. Will you do a read-along video for every chapter, please? Yes, we are going to do all that stuff. We're going to do read-along videos. We're going to do streams. We're going to try to do like lectures and workshops or whatever you want to call them. That's all in the works. That's all in the stars. So, but anyway, if you want to get a copy of the book, print or digital, the ebook is free, or you can choose your own price, or you can just go download it at archive.org. But bannionhouse.org has all the links.
Liam Neeson has some feedback.
Liam Neeson? Oh, Liam Neeson. The EPUB seems to load fine and links to annotations seem to work fine using Kobo, Ellipsa, and CoReader. Okay, so I suspect it's my bizarre e-reader that's having problems. My friend Jenna says physical books are better than audiobooks. Can you say I support genocide?
I support genocide.
No, Luna, you know what you just said. Now they're going to clip you saying that.
Oh, no.
All right, that's very smart. Good job.
Oh, no.
Luna, you got to think twice before you just say things that chat tells you to say.
I was too just.
That's not funny, folks. It's not a good April Fool's joke. All right, so because the debate genocide.
Oh my God.
Because the debate fascists are going to do shit with that. They already slander and mischaracterize us all the time. So
I see.
don't play jokes like that on streamers. It's not funny. But anyway, here we go. Bannionhouse.org. And then you can just put in whatever price you want. The default is $0. So you can pay nothing, you can make a donation, or you can scroll down here and click archive.org. There you go. That's the book. And yeah, enjoy it. Please let us know if you have any comments. Please let us know if you have any ideas or thoughts or anything like that. And we'll see you next week. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Wait, what the fuck? Okay, end BREADCAST.
Bye, everybody.